Hey there, in this lecture I'll talk about installing and configuring text editor for Git. Now every Git installation has its default text editor. So what do I mean by default text editor? So let me just illustrate this. So here now we are in the bash terminal. So let me get into the git fast directory and then into a Git repository. So let this be the test repository which I have in the git fast directory. So I hope you have gone through the earlier section where I had introduced how to create a custom colorized bash prompt, as you can see here. So it has a simple hello string. It has this test directory. So it will always show the current directory. It will show which branch you are. So here you are in the master branch, and it will indicate the status of the working directory. So here it is star, which means we have certain pending changes in our working directory, and this is simple $prompt. So from now on we'll work with this custom colorized bash prompt. Okay, so now let's get back to the topic of discussion. So let's do an ls. So here you can see we have several files here: test file 1, test file 2. So let's do a git status to determine which file has pending changes. So you can see that test file 1 has some pending changes. So let's clear the screen and let's add the changes to the staging area. Press enter and the changes have been added to the staging area. Let's clear the screen. So if I try to commit here using the git commit command, without the option M that we normally did in our earlier lectures, and press enter here, you can see Git enters into the Vim editor, which is the default text editor for Git. So this is what I meant by default text editor. Now if I configure another text editor, for example a graphical text editor such as Sublime Text or Notepad++, then instead of this Vim editor, that particular graphical text editor will open up. So let's quit from this editor and let's clear the screen. Now I'll show you another example what I meant by the default text editor. So let us consider that we want to view the git config file. So you can simply do a cat.gitconfig, or you can simply do git config --global --edit and press enter. So as you can see, automatically the .git config file opens up here, as you can see in the bottommost portion, and it opens up in the Vim editor, which is the default text editor for the current Git installation I have. Now if I install a text editor such as Sublime Text or Notepad++ and configure it to be the default text editor for Git installation, which I have, in such case, instead of the VI editor opening up, it will open the graphical text editor which I have installed. So let's quit from the editor using Q. Now many of us are not comfortable with Unix based text editors such as Vim, which are primarily keyboard driven, and in such case graphical text editors such as Sublime Text or Notepad++, etc. prove very handy. In subsequent lectures, I will show you how to install and configure Sublime Text as the default text editor for a Git installation. So let us have a quick look at the Sublime Text editor website. So in Google, if I type Sublime Text and click on this link, it opens up the Sublime Text website. So if I click on the download link, it says that the Sublime Text 3 is available right now, and it is available for all the 3 platforms that we have been working on so far, which is OS X, Windows, and Ubuntu. And it is also available for 32-bit as well as 64-bit. Now note this important message. So it says Sublime Text may be downloaded and evaluated for free. However, a license must be purchased for continued use. There is currently no enforced time limit for the evaluation. So basically, this part is pretty important, which means practically Sublime Text 3 is free because you can evaluate it for an undetermined amount of time. The reason we have chosen Sublime Text is that it is an extremely powerful editor and popular as well. Now it is under active development as well. Even though it is not officially free, it can be considered free in practical terms. Okay, so with this, we conclude this lecture. In our subsequent lectures, we will be actually installing and configuring Sublime Text to be the default text editor for our Git installation for all the three platforms: Windows, Mac OS X, and Linux.